Good evening. Tourism businesses say without extra financial support, the delay to ending COVID restrictions will push many to the brink. The First Minister has said a move to level 0 is likely to be pushed back by 3 weeks. Nicola Sturgeon promised the Scottish Government would give firms all the support it can offer. Our political correspondent Ewan Petrie reports.
Hello there.
Rising cases have extended the road out of restrictions. In Dundee, the rate of infection is now more than 300 per 100,000. A vaccination bus arrived in the city today to help reverse the increase. However, tourism businesses say a 3-week delay to easing restrictions could spell the end for many.
We're going to need some kind of financial support. I think the important thing is to realise that Scottish tourism has done an amazing job of being absolutely exemplary throughout the pandemic. And we've suffered incredibly heavy losses to help the national effort, but we now desperately need the Scottish Government to help us rebuild it.
The tourism sector wants an easing in household restrictions and clearer communication from the government. The First Minister promised the National Economic Forum she would give businesses as much support as possible.
I know that the nature of what we have been dealing with have meant that at times you have felt that communication has not met your needs. I'm genuinely sorry about that when that happens and want to reassure you that we will continue to strive to do better as we move out of the pandemic, to talk with you, to listen to you and to put the business community and your needs at the heart of our decisions.
The ability of vaccines to combat new variants is critical. Researchers at Aberdeen University have developed a test to show how effective they are against emerging mutations.
They will also kind of inform us on the prevalence of the infection in the mass population. We have developed the tests, so they are actually for mass population deployment. And going forward, this is going to be incredibly important for reopening of the country and travelling abroad.
Figures today showed 4 people have died due to adverse effects from the vaccine. However, to put that in context, more than 3.5 million have now received their first dose. Ewan Petrie, STV News.
A teenager has written an emotional plea to the First Minister asking for help to get cannabis oil prescribed on the NHS to control his brother's epilepsy. Dean Gray's younger brother Murray has been seizure-free for 2 years since taking the treatment, which is costing the family more than £1,300 a month. You may find some of the footage in our political reporter Laura Alderman's piece distressing.
You're okay.
This is what Karen Gray had to watch her son Murray go through hundreds of times a day, every day for years. Murray has epilepsy and is autistic. But since cannabis-based products were legalised for medical use in 2018, he's been treated with a Dutch oil called Bedrolite. And this is him now, seizure-free for 2 years.
It's really nice to see just everything come together, his speech, it just feels like I actually have a brother now.
We lived through hell. It was just horrible, and it's just night and day now. I mean, it's so much better. He's so much, he's so much better. He's not in a wheelchair anymore. He's at school, and he's just loving life. It's amazing.
Because Bedrolite isn't one of the 2 treatments available on the NHS, the family have to pay for it privately, costing them £1,300 a month.
Our clinicians will not prescribe this because there's been no trials. There's no trials happening. We've not got the luxury of time to wait for trials. We need this prescribed now. And it wasn't a choice to go and get this medicine. It was a life or death decision. Murray was in hospital and he was practically dying. We made the decision to get the oils to help him, and we're glad we did. And it's not fair that we're being penalised for helping our child.
Today, Dean delivered a heartfelt letter to Bute House, asking the First Minister to step in and help.
I'm writing to you about my little brother, Murray. He is 8 years old. Please, can you do something to help us?
The Scottish Government say the regulation and supply of medicines is a reserved matter. Westminster say there's not enough evidence that THC or CBD-based products are safe or actually work. But for Karen, the effectiveness is unmistakable. Losing access to these treatments, unthinkable. Laura Alderman, STV News.
A fatal accident inquiry is to be held into the deaths of 2 men in the Cameron House hotel fire. Simon Midgley and Richard Dyson lost their lives in the blaze at Loch Lomond in December 2017. The family of Mr Midgley appealed the initial decision not to hold an FAI after the conviction of the luxury resort and a porter. An independent Crown Office review has concluded an inquiry should go ahead due to wider public interest issues around safety. The COVID pandemic is being blamed for a rising crisis in children and young people suffering from an eating disorder. The Royal College of Psychiatrists is warning urgent action is needed after the number of under-18s referred for help trebled in the last 3 years. Lynn Rankin reports.
Grace Nichol developed anorexia when she was 16. Over-exercising and a reliance on laxatives has led to her living with bulimia for the last 13 years. But the pandemic almost knocked the Inverness DJ's recovery off track.
I think when the gym shut, that was a bit of a shock to the system because I had to start doing things indoors. I didn't feel like I was getting the right amount of exercise, and that really started messing with my head. I started getting all the demons back again, and at one point I did think, I'm going to slip into my old ways here.
Figures show there were 217 young people referred for treatment with eating disorders in 2018-19. That doubled the following year. And in the last 12 months, cases soared to 615, with the most striking increase in the Grampian area, where numbers have more than trebled in 3 years.
A lot of the consultations moved into being like what we're doing now, via video consultations. But children and young people do not cope very well with that. So that kind of impeded the progress and the management of young people.
Rob Donaldson's 17-year-old daughter has anorexia. When lockdown began, face-to-face support stopped and she was admitted to hospital.
She was in there for 4 months and managed to come home late summer 2020. But by November, again, she was really poorly. And the only bed available was in Glasgow. And it was a really traumatic day. It's over 100 miles away, and that was 7 months ago. But she's really struggled. No school to motivate her. And you need that motivation. You need that something to get you to fight the illness, because it's such a hard cycle to break.
Rob says his daughter is lucky to get a bed in a specialist unit in Dundee, but others are left trying to turn the tables on their condition as services struggle to cope. Lynn Rankin, STV News.
Now sport, and Rahman joins us from the Scotland camp in County Durham.
Get your fill of the action. STV Sport, sponsored by Papa John's.
A very good evening from Scotland's headquarters in Darlington. Just 2 days to go before our massive game against England at Wembley. And the news regarding Kieran Tierney's fitness is rather promising. Tierney missed the opening group match against the Czech Republic due to a calf niggle, but he says his fitness levels are improving. So fingers crossed he will be fit for the big one. Well, ahead of that game, midfielder John McGinn says all of the pressure is on England, as Sheila McLaren now reports.
It would take a lot to get John McGinn down, and true to form, the Aston Villa midfielder is still positive about Scotland's chances of getting out of the group. There may have been a setback on Monday, but Scotland have been there before, and he believes they can bounce back once again.
Like in Serbia, it would have been very easy for us to win 1-0, go home, everyone in our bed before midnight, but we decided we might have to lose a last-minute goal and do it the hard way. So this time, we haven't had the start we wanted, but we're more than capable of getting out of the group, and that remains the same aim.
Today's training session here was closed to the media, but we do know that Kieran Tierney did take part today, and when we spoke to him, he says he's getting there in terms of fitness and rates his chances of playing on Friday as 60-40. So now all the focus is on Wembley.
Regardless of the result on Monday, we go into this game as underdogs. We've got a population of 5 million. They've got a population of 55 million, and their squad is riddled with superstars and players who are struggling to get even on the bench. So we'll go in there as underdogs, but with belief that we can go and get a result, because we do have quality in the squad.
It's going to be a game where we're going to have to be good at things that are outside of our comfort zone, as you could call it. But you know, Scotland are effective in different ways, so we have to be able to match them, compete with them, and then get the ball down and play our football as well. So it's going to be a game that we're going to have to be concentrated on.
2 days to go until the big one at Wembley, as Scotland try to keep the Euro dream alive. Sheila McLaren, STV News, with the Scotland camp in County Durham.
Well, a short time ago, I was speaking to Scotland captain Andy Robertson. Fighting talk from him. He says he's going to leave absolutely everything out there on the pitch, and he hopes to do the nation proud. Robertson scored against England back in 2014 at Celtic Park. How dearly we'd love him to do the same at Wembley on Friday night. OK, let's give you some other football news now. And Celtic have been drawn against Danish side Midtjylland in the second round of Champions League qualifiers. The matches will be new manager Ange Postecoglou's first competitive games in charge. Elsewhere in the Europa Conference League, Hibs take on either Mons Calpe of Gibraltar or Andorran side FC Santa Coloma. Meanwhile, Aberdeen face Swedish team BK Häcken. To tennis, and Andy Murray has been handed a wild card for Wimbledon. The two-time champion has not played singles at the tournament since 2017. Murray won his opening match at Queen's yesterday as he continues his preparations for the All-England club. Well, that's just about all the sport for me tonight, folks. Don't forget the big match, Scotland against England, is live right here on STV on Friday night. Coverage begins at 7 o'clock.
Get your fill of the action. STV Sport, sponsored by Papa John's.
Now to the weather, here's Sean.
Blue skies and sunshine are in the forecast. TUI sponsors STV Weather.
Hello there. Well, we're in quite a good position over the next couple of days. We've got lots of rain out to the west of us in the Atlantic, lots of rain in the southeast, looking wet for the game on Friday. Some thundery showers here, and that rain moving its way into the North Sea. Here we're in a little wedge of high pressure, so that's good news if you've got outdoor plans tomorrow, Friday and also on Saturday. A lot of dry and fine weather. Temperatures not overly high, but still feeling quite pleasant. All change on Sunday and Monday though. We'll see quite a bit of rain moving in. Good news for the gardeners and farmers, but between now and then, mostly dry. Now today we've seen a band of rain moving its way eastwards, a cold front introducing fresher air. So tonight in some spots temperatures could get down to about 6 or 7 degrees. A wee bit of a chill in the air, perhaps parts of Lanarkshire and also Stirlingshire and the Highlands. Then tomorrow a lot of fine and sunny weather, just 1 or 2 showers bubbling up, very, very isolated, but 1 or 2 of those could be on the heavy side. Most of them tending to be across northern parts of Stirlingshire into the Highlands and also northern Argyll. Very isolated, mind you, but temperatures at highest about 17 to 19 degrees. It'll be a wee while before we get back into the 20s, but temperatures still managing mid to high teens in the next couple of days. On Friday and also on Saturday, we've got that dry and fine weather for most of us. Temperatures around 16 to 17 degrees. Any showers isolated mainly in the northwest, and then that rain coming in on Sunday. Bye-bye.
TUI sponsors STV Weather.
That's your Scottish news for now. Rona will be here with Scotland tonight at 10:40, but from all of us, thanks for watching. Enjoy your evening.